Hey everybody, going to do an updated video for you here on this severe weather potential coming up over the next couple of days here. And we're going to start here with 18Z today, 18Z Monday. And we're starting with our dew point and our surface pressure. And here we have our 60-degree dew point line up here like this. It's darker shaded down here. That's our 65. This is 70-degree dew point down through here. And we even have some 75-degree dew point showing up across there. So we have a lot of moisture in the atmosphere, and we also have a lot of lift as well. Here we can see, here is our, this is 1,004 millibars here, closed millibar there. We have 1,000 millibars here, another closed millibar. This here is 1,008, so we have 1,008 down is closed millibars. And that indicates a lot of lift. Obviously, we have a low pressure system here, and we have a frontal system coming down like that. So there's a lot of low level lift coming into that moisture that's coming across there. Here's our 925 millibar winds, and you can see there is this pretty strong jet across this region as well. Go up to 850, a very, very strong jet at 850 millibars. Especially across Arkansas into Missouri and down into parts of Louisiana at this point in time. So that's going to be adding even more lift. And you can see we do have some turning of the wind here across that region. Here it's south to maybe even south-southeast. And here we can start seeing it's a strong jet coming out of the south to south-southwest. So we're starting to see a little bit turning there. Go up to 700 millibars. You can see even more turning there, a little bit more southwesterly. Very strong jet at 700 millibars as well. We'll go out here to 300 millibars because I want to show you the divergence that's occurring here, and I think it's pretty evident that we're seeing winds coming up like this here, and then like this here. So we have a divergence zone coming across that same area, so we have good ventilation for the storms there. We'll go ahead here now, take a look at the 500 millibar vorticity, and you can see there's a lot of energy coming across here. Just a ton of energy in this trough that's swinging around here, and that's what's going to eventually swing it to a negative tilt. We can see here it's pretty much neutral at this point here at 18Z. We have this here. It's coming pretty much straight down. Maybe even a little bit of a positive tilt as this until this piece of energy swings this around here. Here's our cape at this point in time. Now remember when I was showing you this late last week, there really wasn't much cape to speak of. And we talked about that was going to probably be changing, and here we go. We can see we do have quite a bit of instability now. And it's really not going to the buoyant instability really isn't going to be as much of a factor with as much dynamic lift as we have. You can lift the air in two ways, either through buoyancy, which is instability, or through dynamics. And with that strong jet and those closed millibars, we certainly have the low level dynamics to generate lift. So that's our cape at 18Z. Here is our shear, so we have both shear and cape at 18Z. We'll look here at the helicity. This is the 1,000 meter, 1 kilometer helicity, and we can see there's very, very high values up in here, getting close to 400 in some of these areas here. Go to the 3,000 meter, 3 kilometer cape. Helicity. And we're almost getting off the charts up here in some of these areas. So the NAM is very impressed with this at this point in time. Now we'll go ahead to 0Z Tuesday, Monday evening, and you can see here we have still our very high dew point airs all the way up into the Great Lakes region. And again, we're looking at these closed millibars to 1,008 here. So this is very strong low level lift. That's there's 1,004 and 1,000 is in here. So again, a lot of very strong low level lift going on here. We'll look at our low-level jets, and here's 925 millibars. And again, we're looking at some, 50 knot jet areas in here. Across the south up into the Midwest here. So, yeah, there's a very good reason there's a large 30% hatched region from SPC with this particular system. This is a lot of things going on here. Here's our 850. Now it's not as organized at 0Z as it was at 18Z, but there's still a lot of energy here. A lot of very strong jet coming up in here. Here's our 700 millibars, and again, look for these turning of the wind here, particularly across this area in here. We'll go back here. We'll start with the 925 again, and you can see it's pretty much due south. Go to 850. It's southwest. Go to 700. It's southwest to here too as well. We'll go up to 300 millibars, and I mean here we just have absolute screaming divergence. Coming in here. I mean, here we can see our winds are, southerly here and southwesterly here, and there's our divergence in here. And this area, here's our jet streak is in here too, and you want to look for the, your right front, your left front or your right rear quadrant. Well, your right rear quadrant here, quadrant, easy for me to say, is this area pretty much back in here is going to be in that area of added lift. So a lot of dynamics with this system to be concerned about. Here's our vorticity, and again a lot of energy coming around this trough, and this is starting around the base here at this point in time. Here is our cape, and again we do have some instability. It's not with all that moisture and all that lift, the atmospheric buoyancy isn't as important as it otherwise would be. If these numbers were 2,000, 3,000 widespread, we'd be having probably a high risk with this tomorrow. But that's not the case. But here's our shear, lots of shear to go with with everything else. And again, here's our helicity, and again some very impressive numbers going on there. There's our 3,000 meter helicity. Now I'm going to jump ahead to 18Z on Tuesday, and you're going to see pretty much the same ideas. It's getting a little bit weaker as it goes eastward, as these things often do. But here is our 60-degree dew point air right in here. That's the first one there you want to look for. And then we have some 65 up through here, and here's our 70. Down through there, up through the Carolinas here like that. That's 70 there. And we're seeing still these closed millibars on this system. So here's our, but there's a small area of 1,000. If you look real close, it's right in here. There's our 1,000 millibars in there. Here, 1,008 kind of comes up like that, but it's still a closed millibar at this point. So we're still getting that good surface lift coming in now to the Mississippi and Georgia, eastern Tennessee, into Kentucky, those areas for Tuesday. Here's our low-level jets, and it's a little bit weaker than it was on Monday as the system is moving forward in time. But still, we're still seeing here, here we have a kind of a southeast wind here. We'll go up to 850. There's 850, and now you can see that where it was, south, pretty much south to southeast here. Now we're looking, wrong map, sorry. There we go, it's south to southeast here. Now you're looking at more southerly here. I got the wrong maps in the order here. Hold on a second. There we go, that's what we wanted. We have south southeast wind here, then we go up to 850, and it's more south to southwest coming through there. And there's our 700, pretty much the same thing there. Now we're not seeing as much divergence at 300 millibars at this point in time at 18Z on Tuesday. There's some weak divergence here, but it certainly isn't what we were seeing on the 0Z panel and also on the 18Z Monday panel. So a little bit less in the way of divergence here to work with. But, like I said, these systems usually do get weaker as they move east. Now, here's our 500 millibars, and here's another reason why, there could be a little bit of weakening here. We have this system kind of cutting off here, closing off, and there's still a lot of vorticity, but instead of coming eastward, it's kind of just rotating around this closed low here. And you can see that because of that, it's not really being able to swing it over to a strongly negative tilt as was kind of being hinted at last week. So it's still a very strong system, but that negative tilt isn't quite there like it was. It's a little hint at it here, but really not what we were seeing last week. We'll go here. Here is our cape, and again, it is higher than what we saw last week, but it's less than we saw the days before. There's our shear, and here's our helicity, again, ramped way up. This is the 1 kilometer shear, and here's our 3 kilometer shears, helicity. So there's, certainly a lot of helicity for this system to work with as it's coming in. So kind of what I'm expecting here is, I think our biggest threat for tomorrow is going to be kind of in this region here. This will be the biggest threat for Monday. And, and that, I think, straight line damaging winds, I think, are almost a certainty with this system. And I think we're also going to see some tornadic activity as well. And that could extend further east as well. I mean, I'm not saying that, nothing is going to happen outside this box. There could be some further north up in here. But I think as far as really the focal point, I think right there is where you're going to see that. Then as we move ahead to Tuesday, it's going to move eastward into, these regions in here. And we're going to be seeing, some strong storms. Now, the question as always is what do the clouds from the night before, do to the system? I used to work with a guy at AccuWeather who had what he called the cloudy clear rule, where if it starts with clouds and, drizzle and muck and that type of thing, then, the storms probably aren't going to form. However, that rule only applies in the absence of strong dynamic lift. We have strong dynamic lift with this particular system. Now, as I pointed out, it's going to be a little bit weaker come Tuesday than it is on Monday, but it's still there. And I think it will overcome it, and I think we are going to see, I think in this region here is where we're looking at the possibility of severe weather on Tuesday. Might not be as, I think Monday's going to be more widespread and probably more stronger reports coming in, but I think we're going to be looking at some stuff here as well. So that is the update on this system. It's a very dynamic, very interesting system, and hope you enjoyed, and everybody have a good day.